Today on Man Up, we're going to have Chris Cook.
Man Up is a series that challenges men to become strong, unique, discipled followers of Jesus. Troy Ferguson, Sean Tice, Victor Thomas, and today's guest host is Chris Cook. Welcome to Man Up.
Welcome back to Man Up. This is our final show for this year. And you may be looking over the last year and think, I had this goal or that goal and this plan and this didn't work out, this didn't transpire. And I just want to encourage you with something. Sometimes we look at things that, projects, goals in our life, and we think we failed. I just want to tell you that sometimes you don't actually fail. Maybe you just aren't complete, aren't finished. So as you look at the last year thinking that this didn't get done and that didn't get done, I would encourage you to carry it over to the next year. And if it's something that God's put on your heart, something that you're doing that you feel you're supposed to do, in a project or a ministry that you just didn't get to finish it, don't let yourself get beat up because it didn't get done in a certain timeline. Don't look at yourself as a failure. Just look at it as you didn't complete it. So I want to encourage you with whatever possible, take it over the next year, carry it over, take it to the next level, whatever it is. Finish what you started, finish strong. In 2026, you'll see how God produces great things in and through you as you keep moving and not quit. So don't look at it as that you failed. Just look at it as you're not complete. And as we come back, we're going to have Chris Cook joining us today on Man Up.
Impact Productions, a multi-layer technology company providing on-site, online, and in-studio video services. Contact Impact Productions to capture your story.
Welcome back to Man Up. Today we have a good friend of the city and community with us, Chris Cook. Thanks for coming with us, and tell us a little about yourself.
Sure. So I've lived in Altoona for the past 40 years. Grew up on the East End, pretty impoverished, raised between my grandmother, my mom, my sisters, a cousin. So I kind of had a difficult upbringing, but I took that in a way that I figured to turn it around. So throughout high school and college, I really just had a love for the city, and I really felt like I wanted to do something. So very early on, I really started my journey of restoration, working on buildings and stuff like that to really feel accomplished. So I've always been interested in business and always wanted to become more than I came from. So,
Gotcha.
So that's kind of like a little bit snapshot of my past.
All right. It's tough to focus on a business because you have so many.
Sure.
So the structure of the organization, Cook's Family Businesses. Talk a little bit about that.
Sure. So about 22, 23 years ago, I had left the company I was working for and started a painting business and a renovation company. So I did that for about 10 years exclusively. That's all I was doing. I was just working on private homes, churches, commercial buildings, kind of doing a little bit of everything, running crews up to about 20 people. So we were a pretty sizable company. I had 5 trucks with guys all over the place. But everything kind of changed when I met my wife, Jen, which was going on 14 years now. We started investing in real estate. And that was kind of the catalyst that grew everything from where we are now. So we started buying 1 property at a time, 2 properties, and just kind of really grew it from there. And then I'd say 5 to 6 years ago, we just exploded. Got into the downtown market, and our first purchase downtown was the Triangle building. And then we just kind of kept acquiring buildings in that area, growing them, restoring them. So in the meantime of all of that, we bought several businesses as well. We bought La Joe's Italian Market, and we bought Always a Party. So some of our businesses are organic that we created, and some of them are purchased from other well-established companies.
So before we get into some of this stuff, and I'll let you guys talk in a minute, I want to back up. You mentioned you grew up in a somewhat impoverished situation, to the point that you have this painting and restoration business for several employees, several people. How did you get, if someone is trying to start a business, how did you get from that little to no income situation to a business to where you could have multiple employees? What are some of the steps that you had to do to build that?
Sure. It was a slow process, honestly. I mean, it started as me, and then I got 2 people, and they worked under me. And honestly, even when I first started my business in 2002, I was still working part-time for a company, and I also had employees. So it was kind of interesting that I was paying people and then also bringing an income in. And by 2004, I had just gotten so much work that things were exploding. By then, I probably had 8 or 9 people. So,
Wow.
I mean, word of mouth, I always wanted to do quality work and make sure I took care of, my customers, and we just continued to grow. And then once I got into some big commercial stuff, we were getting multi-$100,000 contracts and really just expanding and growing. So that's kind of like how it ramped up. So, over the course of like that 6 to 7 years, we grew from, 2 guys, and that's, by 2008, we were running 20 guys with 6 to 7 jobs at a time. So,
Wow.
I mean, it was significant.
Wow.
Chris, you mentioned the triangle, and it seems like you're focused on revitalizing downtown Altoona. What's the appeal? Why downtown Altoona?
I really felt from an early age, like as a young child, just going down there, having those memories, like it just needed a rebirth. I mean, I've been here long enough to remember when everything was open downtown.
Right.
And then I watched everything close downtown. And then there was that segment of 10 to 15 years where it was just bad, with really nothing open at all. So there's a few people that really started just the journey of there. I mean, Sarah with the Clay Cup, she was one of the pioneers down there. And there were a couple other people that just really said, hey, I'm going to do this. And I don't care if I'm the only place on the block, I'm going to try to open. So
Penn State has invested
Yeah.
quite a bit down there in
St.
recent years
Francis
as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's been a lot of growth just organically because of that. So, but it wasn't until probably 4 to 5 years ago where we this is where we want our home to be. We really just want to put all of our dollars there. So we actually started selling a lot of our other properties to reinvest and put our money towards the downtown. So right now we own 9 buildings in the downtown area. So there's still 2 that are under rehab, but all the rest are opening, functioning, thriving businesses.
Nice.
I think it's great what you're doing downtown. I mean, I remember at one point it was like Ken Bros Soccer was like the only thing there, but it's exciting. You started a thing called Center City Market. Can you tell us what inspired that?
Yeah. So a little over 3 years ago, the mayor came to me and said, we're interested in having you part of this. We love what you've done with some of the other buildings. And I looked at it, I said, yeah, no, thank you. Not interested, you know what I mean? Because it was bad.
Yeah.
And he said, go home, think about it. And this is where, the God story comes in, because I went home and didn't just think about it. I went to sleep and had a vision of what it was to be. And I woke up the next morning and just downloaded onto me. And I typed out 10 pages of what this thing should have been, and how amazing it could have been with the apartments and the food court and everything. I even drew concept drawings the next morning. And Interesting. Yeah, so all of that was very early on. So almost 3.5 to 4 years ago, that happened, and I sent it in to the mayor, and I said, hey, let everyone read it, and then I never heard anything again about it. So it took almost a year after that vision to actually even acquire the building.
Wow. So and after that night, that vision, I know what that building used to look like. I've seen your pictures. Was it challenging to bring your wife on board for this journey? Because this is a major project.
Yeah, I would say no, because she trusts me completely. And if I say I think this is what we should do, then we move forward. So, when we fast forward that year of like that waiting, I had submitted then formal proposals and got funding letters from the bank and had architectural drawings. It literally went up to that moment, and I've told this story before, but that moment when the bid was due to the city, the official, I was sitting in a church service and I just said, I'm not doing it. I'm not submitting that bid. And I said that in disobedience. So later that night, we went down to the front doors of the building. We put our hands on the front doors and we felt the Holy Spirit speak to us. And we said, Lord, if this is supposed to happen, we're going to go the next morning and put that bid in. Turns out I am the only person that gave them a proposal, and after several months of negotiations, we ended up with the building. So we truly feel like that was Spirit-led, that we were meant to do that. So, and it's been challenging over the last couple years to get it to that point, but it's done, and it's an awesome space now.
From the point that you acquired it to the point that you opened, I know it was quite a length of time. What was that time like?
I think right around 3 years. Wow. Yeah, the actual construction period was a full year. So we began actually building in April of 2024, and then we finished in April of 25. Then we opened literally a week after we finished. So,
wow, Troy spoke of challenges. Can you tell us some of the victories and some of the flops that you may have had in making this come to fruition?
Specifically just for the market?
For the market.
I would say, one of the biggest challenges was being able to finance it because it was a monstrous job.
I can imagine.
And getting the banks and everybody on board was definitely a challenge. And honestly, that's when Jeff Long came into the picture because he was able to help me acquire the financing to actually make it happen. I still acted as the general contractor. We did all the work, but he was my backbone for that project.
And he's built a few buildings. So
He knows something about it.
He knows what he's doing, and he's a fantastic
And for those who haven't been there yet, where is it exactly located? Is it the old McCrory building?
It's
downtown Altoona?
Yep. So the building was built in the late 1800s, and then it burned down in the 30s. So the building that we're in now is like the 1939 version of it. So it's 1306 11th Avenue, right in the heart of it. The Clay Cup is right on the right side of it, and then just a few doors down is the Gables building, and then Penn State is directly across the street. So, it kind of is right in that main hub.
For anyone watching that may not know what all that it is, talk about the downstairs and the apartments. Talk a little bit about what it is.
Sure, yeah. So the downstairs, we have 7 individual vendors in there. So right now, we have 5 in there, but in the near future, we'll have more. So there's 7 individual spaces. There's a large seating area in the middle. We also have balcony seating, and the overall feel of it is like very industrial. That was part of my original vision, the way it would look. We have a 40-foot bar that runs the whole way up the middle with seating the whole way around it. So it really is what I wanted it to look like from that initial idea. And then upstairs we have 8 really beautiful apartments, 4 on each level. All of them have been rented since about 6 months before we even finished the building. I know how anxious people were to get in, just giving people updates, and literally as soon.
This segment is brought to you by Harry's Construction, whose motto is, "If you can dream it, we can create it." They are the kitchen and bath design experts, so call Harry's Construction for all your remodeling needs.
Welcome back to Man Up. We're going to continue our conversation with Chris and the guys here and talk a little bit about downtown. And Chris, I just want to ask you, you've been known to really dive into some unknown waters when it comes to, I don't want to say risky business ventures, but just unknown. Yeah. How do you give counsel to someone who's trying to do, we talked about this a little bit earlier, but give some advice to someone who's wanting to dive into business and it's risky and it's unknown. How have you come over that hurdle?
Sure. So for me, it's faith, like just believing that it'll be okay. But I'm very numbers oriented too. So I always run all of my numbers as many ways, whether it's bidding a project that is going to be a restoration or opening the business. So excuse me. So checking the logic of it and to see if is it needed, is it wanted. So that's part of what we've done. And
Well, let me ask you this. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but
okay.
now that you said that, as a man of faith, has there been a time that logic and numbers don't work out, but you feel that you need to move forward anyway?
Yes. Yeah. I would say that was probably the case with maybe the Columns Banquet Center, because we walked in just completely blind of like, oh my goodness, like this is so massive and we have no idea how much it's going to cost, and we have no idea if people are actually going to come want to rent this space after it's done. But we plowed forward. We're like, we know that, like, we believe that like it was meant to be and that we were supposed to be open. So and that's been an extremely successful venture, since we've opened 3 or 4 years now. So sometimes you don't know, and I would honestly say you don't ever know in anything you do. I mean, there is no guarantee in business that it's going to succeed. And we have had several businesses over the years that have closed, that have not made it, but we also had like the bravery of being like, okay, this isn't working, let's move on. So I had a discount store right down on 13th Avenue. We gave it a go for about a year, and we're like, it's not working, let's sell it. Somebody came in and bought it from me. And then from that, we bought Always a Party. So we were able to take the money from one and reinvest it into something that was really thriving. So not everything works, but you do have to be willing to take some level of risk. There are a lot of people that just have no risk adversement at all. Like, they're just like, this is what we're doing, this is what we know. And then there are people that are just pioneers that are going to go out, and if they fall on their face, it's okay. I mean, we'll get back up. I mean, and I've fallen a lot of times over the last 25 years, and things have not been easy for some of the time. But we just keep on going. And I mean, I'm young enough that if I fail 3 more times and fall on my face 3 more times, I'll just keep getting back up until I can't get up anymore.
Wow.
Yeah, giving Altoona a facelift, so to speak. And there's a lot of events that occur at the Heritage Plaza. Do you have plans to be a part of that as well, to branch out and bring more people into that area?
So at this point, I don't have any specific plans on what's going on down there, but when things happen there, the city comes alive and everything kind of opens up. So I'll give you an example. There was a car show about 2 months ago downtown. There were more people down there than we could even handle. I think some of the restaurants had their top sales of the full year just that day because of it. So I believe that the more events that do happen downtown, people are going to continue to patronize every business down there. So I believe that if the city can, get maybe a city manager or somebody that is going to take over that role of planning, I think that there could be something down there every week, and people would come, and that's really the catalyst for getting people in there.
Yeah, there's some real historically looking nice buildings down there that could be built up and attract more people to that area.
Yeah, and there's really not many buildings left that have not been touched now, so that's really fantastic. There's only a handful, and there is a plan for every building right now in the downtown that is not being used or underutilized. So I believe that every single one of them has groups of investors moving forward with them.
Wow.
Wow, that's great. Has there been any obstacles with being in the downtown area, like parking, things like that?
I would say 100%. I mean, there is a negative vibe that people want to spread, and we try to fight that all the time and saying, no, it is good, it's safe. I mean, the police department is literally like, a minute from everywhere. Like, we have not had any issues. And honestly, the parking is a non-issue. There are available spots all the time in the garage. I mean, it's $1 an hour, which is dirt cheap if you compare it to any other city. And it's all, within one block of anywhere where you're going to go. So you're never going to work, maybe 300 to 400 feet to get to your destination. So it's just educating people and saying, hey, come down here. It's safe. It's clean. The city does a fantastic job of keeping the streets clean, keeping the sidewalks clean. There's trash cans everywhere. There's really nice lighting that line the streets. So there's really no reason not to go down there. And I do have hope that every night something would happen. When I go visit different bigger cities, I always say there's no reason downtown Altoona cannot be this.
Sure.
And there truly isn't. We have all the infrastructure in place to make it happen. We just need the people to believe that it can still be part of the city and that you don't have to go to the boulevard to have a great time.
Yeah.
Well, I have relatives that some of their favorite childhood memories are going downtown, Christmas shopping, window shopping. They tell how amazing it was. So I would hear that as a kid, and then I would see my image of downtown. I'm 41 now, and I would look at downtown. I'm like, where was that at? You know what I mean? So I think it's really cool what you guys are doing with all that down there. I was speaking at a church in Claysburg area probably about a year ago now, and this one guy came up to my son and said, have you been to Altoona, downtown Altoona? And he was from the Claysburg area, and he's like, man, it's scary down there. So I think there's an image of, on the outskirts, so people are a little nervous about Altoona, but it's not, like you're saying, it's not, doesn't need to be scared.
There are some different people that walk down there. I'd be lying if I said there wasn't, but they don't outnumber all the good. And there's a lot of businesses down there. There's medical facilities. So, the overall feel of it to me is a good feel.
And the more stuff you have going on, the less problems you'll probably have.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There's a mindset shift.
That's great.
Definitely, it needs to take place. That is taking place, I'll say.
Yeah.
But the concept is downtown is you don't go downtown unless you absolutely need to. But I do think that's shifting already. Now, I know that during the day, throughout the week, there's plenty of things going on. In the evenings, what's it like down there? Because Center City Market, how late are you guys open?
We're open till 6. So, we did do some experiments trying to be open till 8 or 9, but really 6 o'clock was when people stopped coming down there. Now, ironically, some of the restaurants at the other end, that's really when they get busy. So there is that mind shift thing too, like, should everything be open later? Should the boutiques be open later? Should Clay Cup be open later? Should some of the different places that way encourages more people to come more hours of the night?
Sure.
So
like Tom and Joe's right downtown. It's a staple.
Yeah.
That closes early afternoon.
Yeah,
I think.
2 o'clock. Yeah,
2 o'clock,
breakfast and lunch.
Yeah.
But they know they know what their business is, and I've talked to the owner before, and he said, "Hey, we know what our lane is, and there's no reason to try to be open till 9 at night and do all kinds of other things."
So, this is the last show for 2025. Looking at 2026, for all of you, what are some things that you guys have plans for? I know I'm putting you on the spot because we didn't prepare for this, but Chris included. What are some things that you're looking forward to for 2026? Any of you have anything?
People always make those New Year's resolutions off camera. Chris and I was discussing, physical health is always a biggie. That people make those New Year's. I'm gonna lose weight, and before February hits, they've already gone back to eating those sweets. But health is one of those things that you can't buy, and there's so many people who wish that they had the health. I remember a story of a woman who worked so hard to get everything in life. She had a mansion, 5-car garage, and then her health went bad, and she was living in a nursing home. And she's like, I have all these things, but I can't use them. So, taking care of your health is very important. And the aspect of living a godly life, doing the things that God would have you to do to maintain this temple is very important. But yeah, that would be one of the goals that I have personally, to maintain health and sustain that.
Good answer.
I echo that. My goal is to have the physique of Victor by the end of 2026. I'm just kidding. I have a book. I'm working on a book project, God is My Dad book, so I'm hoping to have that done by Father's Day. So that's one of my...
Very cool.
Takes a long time to write that, so yeah, I'm excited about that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Chris, you always have something in the pipeline, anything that...
So we don't have any personal projects that we are going to be funding, but since we've done the Center City market development, we've had 4 other businesses come to us and say, we want you to do our storefronts and our businesses. So I've prepared bids for multiple different downtown, right on 11th Avenue companies for expansion, and possibly, a new restaurant might be going in further down the block, and some more housing as well. So I believe that we're going to be continuing to work downtown. So that's what I'm excited for, and we are still making great efforts to actually move our corporate office and our cabinet showroom to the downtown area. We just don't know exactly when the right time to move is and exactly where the building is. So we have a couple places in mind, and there's lots of great things happening. So
The thing with the cabinet company, we didn't even get into that, but that was one of the things you were doing even before a lot of this stuff, right? Haven't you been doing that for a while?
Well, so we actually opened the business in 2020, but
okay.
I'd been doing cabinets for 20 years. So for me to open up my own cabinet shop really made sense in a progression of what to do. That way I wasn't going to other places and buying stuff for my customers, for my projects. We were able to supply our own, and then it allowed me to be the designer and right at the forefront and the spokesperson. So, I mean, that's the one business that really is one of our mainstays financially, that is very steady and kind of helps fund a lot of the other things that we do.
Wow, cool. Well, this has been a good conversation. Chris, thank you for what you're doing in downtown and all your businesses, but in particular downtown. And you guys, this is our final show for this year. Thank you for hanging out with us, and we hope that you join us next time we come back once again with Man Up.
Made by Vogel is a father and son business that produces high-quality handmade wooden products such as cutting boards, bowls, bottle stoppers, and more. Products for sale can be found on their Etsy site or in downtown Altoona at the Clay Cup. You can't go wrong buying from Made by Vogel.
Champion Roofing, we're the solution. You can count on the roofing pros. Our roots run deep and our integrity shows. Proud to serve you, we love what we do. With Champion's unbeatable warranties too.